everybody, my name is Zeman, I'm a pharmacist, and today we're going to be talking about everything you want to know about the new human coronavirus. Plus watch the end of the video to find out about a threat that's bigger than the coronavirus going on right now in this country. Really? That's how you're going to do your intro? Yeah, what's wrong with my intro? Do you have an hour? Shut up, Cletus! Anyway, take it to the intro. Hello everybody, and welcome to Big ZRX. My name is Big Z, aka Zeman. I'm a pharmacist from Baltimore, Maryland. Today I want to talk to you about something that's getting a lot of attention lately. It's the novel human coronavirus, also known as 2019-n-CoV. This will be linked in the description below. Now, I understand a lot of people who might be reading the news lately might be feeling a little bit concerned given what we've been hearing about the virus. And like any other public health concern, this is something that can cause people to be very anxious. But the point of today is I want us to all be a little bit more informed about this virus, about the history of it, so that maybe you can either relay your concerns or help us be best prepared for it, should it ever become a problem. But first, you might be wondering, what exactly is a coronavirus? To answer that, let's start with a little bit of background. Common human coronaviruses are a broad group of viruses that usually cause mild to moderate upper respiratory infections in people. In fact, 4 major strains of coronaviruses are more common than you think. They've already caused mild respiratory illnesses in this country for a while. The most common one being the common cold. Do you think people don't notice their big monotone voice and your expressionless face the whole way through this segment? What do you mean expressionless? I'm a very animated person. Do you have to look like that? Look like what? Like a person who had a Botox injection into her personality. You mean his personality? I meant what I said. Shut up, Cletus! The virus transmits itself through a variety of methods similar to other respiratory viruses. This can include things like the air by coughing and sneezing, close personal contact such as touching or shaking hands, and touching a subject or surface with the virus on it, then touching your mouth, nose, or eyes before washing your hands. People infected with novel coronavirus typically present with symptoms such as fever, cough, and shortness of breath. Although we've also seen from other studies that some patients present asymptomatic or with very little symptoms at all. And some patients' symptoms, if left to progress further, can get as severe as something as bilateral pneumonia, which means a person will present with pneumonia in both lungs. Now, this new virus, known as the novel coronavirus, was first discovered amidst an outbreak that was occurring in Wuhan City in the Hebei province of China in December of 2019. This clinical presentation, or this collection of symptoms, is also not uncommon from things such as the common cold. As a result, it can be a little difficult for clinicians to be able to recognize this particular novel coronavirus from things such as the cold or the flu. As of the recording of this video, there have been a total of 2,700 confirmed cases and a total of 80 deaths confirmed on a global scale due to the outbreak of this virus. Up to January 21st, there have been 5 confirmed cases of novel coronavirus in the United States, in California, Arizona, Washington, and Illinois, although these numbers are still pending under investigation and continue to update as we go along. Because this particular viral strain is very new, there is no current vaccine available or antiviral treatment available in order to cover novel coronavirus. Wait! Yeah, what is it, Cletus? I'm hungry. Okay, well, I'm in the middle of the segment right now. Okay, excuse me guys while I go ahead and feed Cletus. One moment. As a result of the outbreak, we've been able to document person-to-person spread among the outbreak in China. However, even given the confirmed cases, we have not seen any evidence of person-to-person spread in the United States yet. Now, if you've been following up on the news about the coronavirus, you might have also heard about two other viruses that keep being referenced. And if you're one of the older folk, you might have recognized some of these names before. The first one is called SARS, which stands for Sudden Acute Respiratory Syndrome. And the virus associated with it is known as SARS-CoV. The second one is known as MERS, or known as Middle East Respiratory Syndrome, which is caused by the affiliated virus MERS-CoV. The reason why both of these viruses are labeled as CoV in the name is because they are both happen to be from the family of human coronaviruses. Unlike the other strains of coronaviruses that we talked about before, these two particular strains caused very severe respiratory illness and resulted in global outbreaks that happened in the past 2 decades. Case of SARS, 8,098 known cases, and resulted in 774 associated deaths. In the case of MERS, we had a total of 2,494 confirmed cases and 858 associated deaths. What's particularly interesting about this is that in the case of MERS, out of that 2,494 confirmed cases, 2,102 of those cases were found exclusively in Saudi Arabia, and 780 of those associated deaths were found in the Middle East, found in Saudi Arabia as well. In the case of viruses such as SARS and MERS, sometimes people get a little too preoccupied with hearing the number of global infections and deaths that might have occurred. What we also have to take into account is how many of them have actually reached the United States. For example, out of the total number of associated infections and death that happened with SARS, only 8 Americans back in between 2002 and 2004 were infected, and none of them died as a result. In addition, given the thousands of people that were affected amidst the MERS outbreak, only 2 Americans who were healthcare providers working in Saudi Arabia at that time actually became affected, and both of them survived. As I mentioned before, with all of the crazy information going on about the novel coronavirus, there still remains a bigger viral threat that's going on in the United States this particular winter. You already have known about this virus for a very long time. What I'm referring to is influenza. In the past flu season, between 2018 to 2019, there were estimated 62.6% of children who received a flu shot, and an estimated 45.3% of adults who received a flu shot, just within the United States. Compare this to the influenza epidemic of 1918 that swept a total of 50 million people across the globe. Some people might look at this and think, oh, what's the big deal? We've been dealing with the flu for a long time now. We have it together, right? But you have to realize that one of the reasons why we've been able to fight back the flu epidemic for so long was because of using adequate vaccinations so that we didn't have an epidemic or an outbreak like we did back in 1918, which at this point now is about 100 years ago. In addition, you have to realize that while even some of the numbers that I've said have shown a dramatic decline in the last 100 years, there are still a lot of places across the globe where this isn't the case. In a lot of places around the world, particularly in underdeveloped countries, the leading causes of death happen to be infectious diseases. We don't feel as concerned or scared when we hear about stories like the measles or the flu because it seems been there, done that. But then sometimes those same people, or at least some of them, will hear stories about things like the novel coronavirus, or back when it was SARS, or back when it was MERS, and they feel a lot more panicked, a lot more scared because it seems strange and unfamiliar. But you also have to be able to look at the statistics to realize how much of a threat it is to you. Yes, we have 5 confirmed cases, but we still haven't seen evidence yet of person-to-person spread. And even the 2 cases we talked about before caused giant outbreaks, but on another side of the country, and didn't actually cause any associated deaths within the United States. I understand the amount of concern that it has. There's a lot of fear and anxiety that surrounds the unknown. But the best way that we can deal with it is to empower ourselves with knowledge. And again, that's part of the reason why I wanted to do this channel. It's part of the reasons why I want to cover stories like this. Well, I hope you all enjoyed this topic today. I certainly enjoyed being able to discuss things like this. If you have any questions or comments, please drop a comment below and ask me anything you want to know more about. If there's any other topics you'd like me to explore, please let me know in the comments below. Also, please be sure to like and subscribe, and please tune in for more videos. I hope to hear from you guys soon. Take care. Bye.